to the track, the wall, makes the leap, and makes the catch! Amazing catch by Junior! He got it! A perfect game! 13 strikeouts!
What a special moment for Barry Bonds.
Swinging a long drive, deep to right, going, goodbye! He has done it! He has changed the game of the night with one swing of his bat!
Hello and welcome to your most favoriteest baseball podcast of all time. Welcome to Champions Adjust. This is episode 10 of season 1 of Champions Adjust. We're in our first season. We've done 9 episodes. How we feel so far? You guys, first-time podcasters, what are we feeling?
First off, I'm excited to have all three of us in a room for the first time in like 2 months.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's exciting.
Episode 8 was you and I.
Yeah.
Episode 9 was Sander and I. Episode 1 through 6, check those out, all of us. And now we're here, episode 10. We got all of us back. Sander's back on the WrestleMania chair.
Back in the WrestleMania chair.
Very important.
I thought I had the caps locked in, but
Me too.
It's all good.
We can switch if you want, man. Okay, no, shoot, dude. I'll fight for it. Like, I'll lose the fight.
We're all equal.
Yeah, no, I like the back support over here.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, pumped to have everyone back. Fired up. But tell me you guys about your podcasting experience. What do you think so far?
It's been good. I think we've got like 75 followers on the gram. That's sure to pick up next season. Yeah.
Thank you for those 75, baby.
Yeah, get the triple digits. Yeah, no, it's been cool. Like I don't know even half of the people that listen, so it's kind of interesting to know that people listen to your BS that you don't even know. But it's cool.
Yeah. No, I agree with that sentiment. I don't think I know a quarter of the people who follow us, to be honest, and. I really appreciate the support, and it's been really cool just to hang out with my homies.
Yeah.
And talk baseball. I think, above all, it's a really cool opportunity. Well, it was at one point weekly, but now when we get the opportunity, and we'll again turn into a weekly occurrence soon, to just BS about the game, and then the importance of mental health within the game, and the importance of the youth development and the development movement in the game of youth sports. And I love the opportunity to share those sentiments with two like-minded people, and it's been fun, and we've learned a lot. Like what I'm doing right now, I talk too much and I cut people off, so I'm working on it, and we worked through those things season 1.
By episode 10, you learned.
Yeah, figured it out finally.
Yeah. We'll see. It's only been like 2 minutes, so.
I didn't cut you off when you were saying that, so.
There you go.
We're getting better.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's cool to like run into buddies and they like bring up something you talked about on like episodes in the past. They're like, yeah, I heard that on the podcast. Like, wait, you actually listen? It's like, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
That is really sweet.
So.
I don't know if my friends listen because I produce so much content that it's hard for people to follow everything. But I know that the boys I played ball with, at least, this is something that actually interests them.
Sure.
So it's cool to hear that. And then people that I knew that I haven't talked to in a while bought some T-shirts from us. So that's been cool. Kind of.
The kids we coach tend to be a big part of our listeners and the parents. Those are the only people I actually
they're
know.
Also a lot of our promotional material.
Yes, that is great as well.
Free labor.
That is good free labor.
Thanks, boys.
I can tell you none of my friends listen to us, but I do have, my Uncle Alan is an avid listener. He actually, he listens to us all the time and complained to me when we took this little hiatus between 7 and 8. He's like, what the heck? I have nothing to do on Thursday now. So that was very sweet of him to reach out and tell me how important this was. So shout out to you, Alan. Thank you.
He listens to it like 5 times every Thursday. Yeah. That's all he does. He's like, oh, it's Thursday.
Here we go.
I'm grabbing a cup of coffee.
But that's a good segue into a little bit of housekeeping stuff. This will be the last episode of season 1. So we'll take the rest of August off. We'll take September off. And then we'll be back at the tail end of September to cover postseason baseball. So we'll pop in and out through October to talk about postseason baseball. Those episodes will be pretty quick, probably 20 to 30 minute episodes, just covering the games, our predictions, cool stuff that's happening in postseason baseball. So that'll happen all throughout October. And then from there, I'm not really sure exactly when season 2 will start, because then we kind of get into holidays and people will be traveling and stuff. But I'm sure we'll be back then December, maybe with a few episodes, and maybe hone in January for like the official start date of season 2. But we'll have a sub season covering postseason baseball and pop in every once in a while to cover what's going on, recent news, all this stuff, and to maybe update you guys on the advancement of the Champions Adjust brand and where we're at with that. We'll be dropping new merch like constantly, even if we're not dropping pods. And there'll be promotional material of David Bodson doing Chug Buds. Shout out to Chug Buds. You can get your Chug Bud at chugbuds.com.
Big Mike, sponsor us, man, please.
Thanks.
Here for a sponsor.
Yeah, we're here for the sponsor. But that's about it.
Do we want to talk about the exciting stuff that's going to be happening to you 13 days from now?
No.
No? Okay.
You mean you're getting married August 15th?
I'm getting married August 15th.
Coach Bodson getting married August 15th.
Yeah,
Shout out.
11 days, 10 days from when this drops, it'll be 10 days.
Fantastic.
I'll be a married man the next time you guys see me.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We love love. We love love.
We love love.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, we're going to go now and move to the most famous segment on our show. We are going into Hall of Fame or Not with
Jon Lester.
Hey, Johnny. What teams do you play for?
St. Louis Cardinals, baby.
Plays
Let's
for
go.
the St. Louis
Cardinal
Cardinals.
Nation. Red Birds.
Before we go into our yes or no's, when you think Jon Lester, what team immediately pops into your mind?
Red Sox for me.
Red Sox.
I think Red Sox as well.
3 World Series.
So let's look at career numbers from the top. 5-time All-Star.
Man, 4 short.
3-time World Series champion. And he won an NLCS MVP.
I thought he won 4.
I don't know. Baseball Reference says 3.
Best or if he's way smarter than I am.
So, career numbers: 196 wins, 116 losses, and a 3.64 ERA.
Good,
not bad. Under 4.
Sub 4.
Career WAR is 43.5.
That.
So, just hearing those numbers,
Good number.
briefly knowing what you know about Jon Lester, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I give him the nod. The World Series do it for me. He doesn't have a Cy Young. What'd you say, 4 or 5 All-Stars?
5 All-Stars.
5 All-Stars.
Yeah, I mean, he probably end up.
He'll be at 200
games.
Yep.
2,500 strikeouts, 2,500 strikeouts. It's a lot. He's pitched for a long time, so yeah, I'll give him the nod. And the 43.5 WAR. I mean, it looks like if he keeps pitching, that might go down.
Sure.
But,
Yeah, well,
so
I mean,
far,
playing
so
for
good.
average teams too is
Yeah,
not going to help.
maybe not first ballot, but I think he's in at some point.
I would give him like 6th or 7th year.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Probably
finally
not first ballot.
No,
Later.
I'm going to go with a yes as well. I was actually originally a no. I was like, no, what could he have done?
What convinced you?
I looked into it. He's been the number 1 for 3 World Series championship teams. He is a catalyst as a Cub and a Red Sox. So having to ask the question, which team do you think of when you think Jon Lester, you can think of 2 different teams because he's won a World Series for each of those teams and has been the number 1 for each of those teams in championships, and arguably the most impactful free agent signing in Chicago Cubs history. 2015, they won 73 games, and then Jon Lester was on the market. They signed him to a big contract. He was their number 1.
In 2016.
In 2016, they won a World Series.
Yeah, he had his absolutely best year in 2016. He went 19-5 with a 2.44 ERA.
That's incredible. And
32.
doing that, taking the leap,
180
taking the
innings
leap
pitched.
of faith to
No,
go.
sorry, 202 innings pitched.
Right, taking the leap of faith to go from. Well, I guess it was that athletics team because he got traded, but to go to
2016. Go, keep going.
fair, but to go to a 73 win team and go and win a World Series as a number 1 pitcher says a lot. And you got a 200 win pitcher. He's obviously, as such, with his longevity, a great leader in the clubhouse, which you'd love to see. And we've talked about in the past, personality does have a weight, whether it should or shouldn't, it does. I think that he's going to be a guy who writers are going to see in the 5th or 6th year and think, well, I think it's about time we finally get this guy in here, and he'll get the nod at that point.
Wow. Oh, Max Scherzer won the Cy Young that year.
Sure. I could see that. Get it? Because he has 2-card IC.
But that's a stellar year, 2016. Wow,
Yes.
amazing. I don't know about Big John. I definitely agree with you that I think his postseason is where he did his best baseball.
Sure.
You know, besides that one year, he had a few other really good years, right? He went 18-6.
In 18.
You know, 19-9. Not a lot of seasons.
The injury bug got him. The
You
last
know,
couple years.
under 3, which is obviously why his career ERA is 3.62, which is still amazing.
Yeah.
You know, he was never the best pitcher in the league during one year. Maybe besides 2016, arguably, because those are fantastic numbers.
Sure.
But the World Series rings, like you're right, and being the best pitcher on those teams and leading those teams and being the number one and probably pitching on 3 days rest a couple times throughout those postseason runs and being the guy, I think has a lot to say with his Hall of Fame career and longevity-wise, really amazing. Yeah, so I think I'm leaning towards what you guys are saying. I'm on that, but I'm a bit on the fence, I think. So I'm not a definite, like, he will get in, but I wouldn't be surprised if he got in when you guys are saying, like, you know, 6-7 years down the line.
Sure.
I think it's safe to say if we were responsible for voting, they'd have to build like another building
Yeah.
for the Hall of Fame.
We can't make a decision to save our lives.
Kept anybody
I mean,
out,
some
really.
people would argue that the people currently voting, they need to do that.
Yeah, it's true.
We've had, like, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to pick guys that are, like, kind of on the fence.
Sure.
Like, we can pick guys that are going to get in right away.
Yeah.
That'd be easy.
Yeah,
But
you're
even the
right.
Hall of Fame guys can't get that right. But anyways. Yeah, so Big John, we give you the nod here. We like you, and we hope you.
Congrats, you're in.
We hope you lead the St. Louis Cardinals to a National League
It's a
pennant.
500 season.
They already are 500. Thank you very much. To a National League pennant.
Hey, the Cardinals are a postseason team. They figure it out when they need
They
to.
tend to figure it out.
35. But yeah.
Right now, he's tough year so
I
far.
mean, look at his facial hair though. Like that's a postseason facial hair waiting to happen.
I mean, Big John's a dude.
He's an absolute
sure,
dude.
yeah.
He's
He's
6'4",
a unit,
250.
man.
He's a big boy.
250.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call him a big unit, but he is a unit.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sweet.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt his Hall of Fame chances that he can't throw a pick? Or he can't pick off to first.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
He's got the yips.
We don't say that word.
Ted Lasso does.
Sorry, I was making a Ted Lasso reference. Do you watch
I
Ted
knew you were
Lasso?
going.
I have, but I don't.
Have you watched a new episode?
Yes.
Great.
Watched it today.
Yeah, shout out
Listen,
to you. Jason Sudeikis, thank you.
if you know anything about me, you know that I'm in love with Ted Lasso, and
I am too.
he's the person that I want to be when I grow up, even though I'm almost 30 years old.
If I wasn't getting married to Lulu, I would go after Ted Lasso.
I don't even see Jason Sudeikis
No.
anymore. I just only see Ted Lasso.
I think Jason Sudeikis has started to embody Ted Lasso too. Like some of the things he says and does during interviews.
I also want to know who runs the Ted Lasso Twitter account because it's gold. I'm pretty sure it's Jason Sudeikis because he doesn't have a Twitter account of his own.
Was it
So
yesterday?
I think it's him. But then I went to the Cubs game like 3 weeks ago and they said Jason Sudeikis is throwing out the first pitch and I was like, no, that's fucking Ted Lasso.
It is.
Please get it right. Then he was with his kids and I was like, oh, you only have a son in Ted Lasso shows. I don't know who that lady is.
His tweet yesterday is something that I love, which is every person is a different person. It tells you that you might have like this idea of somebody because of their profession, but just because you have this idea because of that person, this person is different. Every person's a different person. Shout out to you, JC Sudeikis / Ted Lasso.
Please only say Ted Lasso.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He is the head football coach of the Richmond team. Okay?
Richmond, let's go Richmond!
And they're 0-8. But they're going to get a win, baby.
Hey, Jamie Tart, baby.
He's back. I'm not
He's
sure
back.
if I love it.
Spoiler alert, Jamie Tart's back.
Okay, I'm off of Ted Lasso. If you care more about Ted Lasso, I did a 35-minute podcast episode about it on Jackson Talks,
actually?
everybody.
Oh,
recapping
fired
the
up.
entire season 1 and why I think it's one of the greatest television
Can I
shows.
join the recap season 2?
Possibly. It depends on how you act on this show.
Okay. I'll tell you what, ever since, shout out Jennifer Madrano, reached out to me and said, hey, I love your podcast, but holy gosh, your language. You know my 13-year-old's going to be listening to this. I was like, you're right. I should start cleaning it up a little bit. And I have. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah. Shout out Madrano twins.
Shout out Jennifer.
Okay,
Jennifer
next,
and
we're
Frank
going
Madrano
next.
twins.
We have really something super important we have to talk about, Sander, and this is really to you and I. Okay? Champions Adjust, the description of Champions Adjust is covering everything from bat flips to short hops. We have yet to cover either of those topics, okay? But we've covered everything in between. We will definitely not be covering short hops. That's a topic that we will
next season
dive into at some point in the next 15 seasons of Champions Adjust. I swear, I promise. Okay? But we will talk about the dynamics of a bat flip right here and now on this show for at least the next 3 to 7 minutes.
Love it.
Okay. So I think if you really need to know how to bat flip, you got to watch a couple guys. Okay, Joey Bats when he was crushing 45 home runs a season
against the Rangers.
Okay, you got to watch Fernando Tatis. And who else would you add in that list? Cunha. And Ohtani does some pretty good bat flips. And Vladdy.
Bud Harper.
And Bryce Harper's got a lot of swag too.
Sure.
Okay, so if you want to go a good bat flip, you got to watch those. But step number 1 in the dynamics of a bat flip, number 1 is please make sure that it's actually a home run. Okay? That's step number 1. Step number 2, what would you say? You know, when you release,
don't throw at somebody.
Don't hit the catcher.
Don't hit the catcher. Don't hit the bat. Don't hit the umpire.
You know, I think it's important then you have to take a few steps out of the box with the bat in your hand, and then you can give it one of these boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have like some maybe differing or interesting opinions about the bat flip. I think that like the greatest bat flips were like the Griffey days because he was so subtle, so swaggy about it. It's not necessarily a bat flip, but I guess the release.
Yeah.
And Griffey, McGuire, Sosa, those guys when they were hitting bombs. And I'm a little bit old school in my thinking because they weren't like literally throwing the bat in the dugout.
It was a bad drop. It was a bad drop.
Yeah, it was just so subtle but so swaggy. Everyone knew that they had just hit a bomb. And now things have opened up a little bit. It's like more accepted to actually chuck the bat, and that's fine. Joey Bats probably was the initiator of all that. So I can appreciate some of the new age bat flips, but man, those old school guys, like Griffey is like the first one I can think of, but how he just kind of like laid it down and took 3-4 steps before he started jogging, I would consider that a bat flip of sorts. And those were, I mean, you just can't beat that.
Yeah. Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, we will show some bat flips.
Yes.
Joey Bats.
The most epic.
Ken Griffey Jr. And another cool one. Will happen right now. And if you're not watching...
Or not Soler, Baez.
Oh, yeah, Baez.
Javi Baez had the most epic one of the season recently.
Baez just gets so fired up and then he just chucks it. Like, he is just so, like, pissed off and excited and... Yeah, those
was it him that legitimately just took his shirt off walking down the first base line?
Yeah.
On what was actually just a fly ball, but they let it go because they were going to tag up anyway. So like, all right, whatever.
Oh yeah, and then he started mouthing the pitcher.
Yeah,
that was like recently.
Yeah, it was
last week. That was kind of
right before he got traded.
Like I appreciate the enthusiasm there, but
well, it was all because of what happened.
Literally came up short of the warning track, and he was MFing the pitcher on the way down the first. It was like, yes, it's a walk up or a walk off.
But you understand why he was?
I do.
Him, right?
He just won the game. Yes, that's
no.
exciting.
It was that wasn't why. It was because of what happened the month before. Amir Garrett shut them down and mouthed off and created a bench clearing potential brawl the last time they met. So the next time Amir Garrett faced off against Javi Baez walked off against him. Mind you, Garrett came on with a runner on third and did his job, got an out. It just was a fly out to the warning track to let it go. But Baez was mouthing off to him because Garrett spent all that time mouthing off to the Cubs bench in May. And that's why there was so much emotion. And that's why so much of that happened, which is why I loved it. Otherwise, I'd be like, this is overkill. Plus, it was his last real big thing he did for the Cubs in his career. And I think he knew that.
Yeah. I also have enjoyed, as much as I hate to say it, the past couple of years in the playoffs, the Dodgers have had some epic bat flips. Mm-hmm. Max Muncy comes to mind.
Yeah.
He just got that kind of like calm demeanor about him, but he just flips that thing so smooth.
Yeah.
You know, you got to act like you're not trying too hard. Like you didn't premeditate this whole thing. You just hit a bomb and it just comes naturally. You just...
It's like, pah.
It's like boom.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Justin Turner has that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, man, he's ugly.
I love Justin Turner. Do y'all follow him on Instagram?
I do not follow him.
He's so good on Instagram. He actually he posts a lot of like the day of my life today, and like the other day he posted when Scherzer came up behind him and like tapped him on the back, and that's when Turner turned around and like gave him a hug. Like, oh my God, you're here! And the caption was, "This is not who I expected to be tapping me on the back before my at bat." And it was just Scherzer had just arrived in his Dodgers uniform. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Love you, Justin Turner.
Sorry.
So what it all boils down to, the bat flip, is 1, hit a bomb.
Yes.
Make sure it's out. Make sure, and no doubter. It's got to be no doubter.
Yeah.
No wall scrapers.
And I think situationally is important also for the bat flip.
For sure.
I think it makes it much more dramatic and intense and real. If you kind of pimp a home run in the second inning down by 17,
Yes.
not really the point. But do you, baby? Do you? Let it fly.
Make baseball fun.
Make baseball fun. But those are the bat flip dynamics that we have now covered as part of our Champions Adjust description.
This has been something that we've actually pushed back for like 8 episodes.
Yes.
It has been on our list for like 8 episodes.
I'm really proud of myself here. Job,
Did
boys.
it.
Job, boys. Okay, Boz, and now we need your expertise as a pitcher. Mm-hmm. We talked about bat flips. Me and Sander probably pimped a bunch of bombs because we're studs. Just legendary baseball players.
I've never pimped
Ton of
anything.
doubles.
Yeah, I did pimp a lot of doubles. I would round first and be like, shoot, pump it.
Oh shit.
And then, oh my God, I'm almost out. Anyways, but for real, this happened a bit ago when we were kind of in our hiatus. Everyone was traveling, season was ending, all this kinds of stuff.
Sure.
And the sticky stuff rule got implemented into Major League Baseball. When it happened initially, first thoughts?
Overcorrection. First thoughts, overcorrection. The idea for an average fan of wanting to minimize cheating, I totally understand that. But as a hitter, how do you feel? What's your comfort level going up against a guy who throws 102? Would you rather him have a good, firm grip on the ball, or rather it potentially slip out of his hands?
Are you asking that question?
I'm asking you that question as a hitter.
Well, if you're asking that just as a standard question.
I'm asking you as a hitter.
With no other context.
I throw 102 miles per hour.
Right.
Would you rather me have a firm grip or potentially fly out of my hand?
Well, obviously, I'd want you to have full control over the baseball.
So
But
sticky
that's not
stuff isn't necessarily always about cheating. It is, but you always see people who will, pull up their shoe tongue, or they'll readjust their belt, or they'll pull off their hat real quick, and there's always sticky stuff in there, right? Those are the 3 main ways they go about it. Or they'll under their armpit, they'll like scratch their armpit, and they'll have something in there. In short, it helps the ball move, but it also allows the pitcher to grip the ball better. And so there's 2 sides of the argument, and I'm on the side of it's a safety hazard, because now my sweaty hands are on a baseball and I'm about to chuck a 103 mile per hour fastball that potentially go to your head. And that is, that's scary. Which is why I was never a very good hitter. I was scared of a 70 mile per hour fastball going towards me, much less a 100 mile per hour fastball. So I understand the efforts to get rid of the cheating aspect, but there's so many ways in baseball to turn it towards your advantage. I think sticky stuff is one of the least of their worries. I don't like that there's a 10-game ban for having it, when, again, we can always go back to the Astros and their scandal, and not one of them got 1 game. But using a substance that's been used for 80 years as a 10-game automatic ban, I don't like that. And I consider it an overcorrection, which we see a lot from this current commissioner.
What would you do if you had full control over baseball right now?
Well, first off, I would allow people to pick off as many times as they want and switch pitchers.
Well,
after the batter.
They can.
I don't know. That is a great question. I don't necessarily have an answer to. I would love for people who are listening to this to comment what you guys would think that you would do and your thoughts on it. My initial thoughts are it is an overcorrection. If I were running the show, I don't think I would focus as much on that. Like, hey, this is a thing that occurs in baseball. People juice bats. People juice the balls. People have sticky stuff. People take greenies. People take Adderall. There's other things that people do. why don't we crack down on these things rather than this? Because this could, while it does help the ball move, it could also potentially save a life. 102 mile per hour fastball at your dome is not something that you would want, but it's more likely now because sticky stuff is banned and sweat is a lot slippier than pine tar.
I think the timing of the whole thing really sucked too. It was like mid-season.
Yeah.
There was really no warning. They just like cut it off like cold turkey.
Sure.
So if you give guys the off season to kind of figure it out, or I mean, God forbid the MLB like put their heads together and try to come up with something to either put on the ball or a regulated substance that pitchers can use, like a sunscreen,
Sure.
which is not like malicious by any means, but they literally are using it for good, like for grip, and not
Right.
necessarily for spin rate or whatever.
Sure.
But to just cut it off in the middle of the season and say, nope, you're like, your hand's got to be dry,
Sure.
you can't use anything, I thought that was the wrong way to go about it. But
Which, by the way, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Don't say that if you do it. Just let him finish and then come
I
back.
thought I had, which is why
Go
I
ahead.
was making sure you were
no,
done.
that's it.
No,
Okay.
you're not done.
I was making sure you were done. Okay, I thought he was.
Okay, we're getting better.
Tranquilo a little bit.
I'm very calm all the time.
So I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore, to be honest with you. No, I agree. The timing was tough. You have rosin. That's great. You can use the rosin bag. I don't remember what you said because Aaron interrupted
Like
me.
a regulated substance that like is available to pitchers in the dugout. You know,
Sure.
Don't call it sticky stuff, but
Sure.
there's got to be some technology out there. They should have been thinking about this a lot longer than just people complaining and then all of a sudden saying, all right, you're done.
Which, by the way, are we still looking at, like, I was watching Craig Kimbrell pitch his first outing for the White Sox the other day. I mean, his fastball moves across the plate, with or without sticky stuff. Mm-hmm. And they checked him. He didn't have anything on him. I'm sure they're finding new ways to hide it. I'm sure, like, there's something, like, we don't have to talk about exactly where they would put it, but there's places they're not going to check, and you can figure it out. But at the end of the day, you look at him and DeGrom and you look at Scherzer, and their balls are still super nasty. And I would prefer, as hard as they throw, that they use sticky stuff or something like you just mentioned, Sander, to regulate how they can control the baseball from slipping out of their hands, because we saw it against the White Sox the other day. I can't remember who they were playing against, but Tony La Russa charged the catcher. There was a ball that clearly slipped out of his hand. It hit the batter in the head. The pitcher was on the ground, like, I can't believe I just did that. And La Russa sprinted at the catcher, trying to start a fight.
Yeah.
Which, first off, Tony La Russa as a
He was out of
manager
control.
needs to be better than that.
Yeah.
Like, be a leader, be a role model there.
That sprint was hilarious. Though.
Sure.
Throw that clip.
For a 76
And here's the clip of Tony La Russa,
76
a
years old.
76-year-old
Yeah.
man sprinting out of the dugout.
But again, does that happen if the sticky stuff isn't banned? Does that stuff happen? Do we have a guy on the ground because a fastball at 98 miles per hour slipped out of somebody's hand if he has a good grip?
Maybe.
And
I mean, it's still
maybe
gonna happen,
not.
but probably not at the rate.
right, and it was tough to watch, and I understand where Tony La Russa's at, but come on, dude, like when I saw that pitcher collapse because he felt so bad, I felt so bad for the hitter and the pitcher alike, because neither one of them were happy in that situation.
Yeah, and Abreu like even confronted him and like put his arm around him and was like, "Hey, dude, it's all good, man." Because he knew how bad he felt. La Russa was just being like kind of jackass.
Yeah. Well, as hitters and as a pitcher, if I meant to hit you, as a hitter, I meant to hit you.
Yeah,
But I'm also hitting you.
forward,
And I'm also hitting you right in the square of the back, somewhere it's not going to hurt you. Just more of a here's a little message. If I hit you in the head, though, I as a pitcher feel horrible. I'm like, oh my God, I am so sorry I just did that. Are you okay? I've never met. That's not true. I've never liked to chat with a guy anyway who's a pitcher who purposely wants to throw at somebody's head. Nobody wants to hurt you. You want to send a message, hit him in the butt, hit him in the hip, hit him in the back.
Throw it behind him.
Throw it behind him. Don't hit somebody in the head, and everybody knows that at this point. Don't risk somebody's mental health and potential brain damage for a game. And that, bring full circle, I think that banning sticky stuff puts that a little bit at risk. And I would love what Sander you mentioned. I would love to see a little more thought into it before they really came out and gave 10 game bans.
It's been talked about. It's not like it wasn't talked about before the season. Do it in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Or put some thought to it.
Agreed. Just go right into it. Agreed.
What do you think?
Sounds good, guys. Next subject.
All right.
No, I'm definitely with Sander. I don't understand why I think like something like this, something so drastic, so major, is just randomly implemented in the middle of the season. Maybe the teams and the players were notified before, like the general public. Maybe, but still not enough time to get everyone on every pitching staff, equipped to something that they weren't used to ever as major leaguers, and allowing something to still be available for them to use that does get a better grip on the baseball.
There's another...
So implementation is super important, just like all these other rules that they're trying to implement in minor leagues, and the guy starting on second base in the extra innings, them wanting to revoke that because it's obviously not working out well and nobody likes it. And then this, thought has to go into literally changing the dynamics of a baseball game, especially in major leagues. And so I'm on the same page as Sander. Find something that you're okay with everyone using this. This is good. This is what the standard is. This is what you can use. Implement in the off season so they have time, spring training, to get used to it. And then going into the season, everyone's copacetic, everyone's on the same page, and we're all doing this and that, and we can minimize players getting hit in the head, obviously by accident. The other stuff, on purpose stuff, I don't really agree with that stuff, but that's on the major league teams and their passion for the game and how they want to go about protecting their players and all that other stuff. Much more into that, but that's what I think about generally about the sticky stuff.
One other aspect that I forgot to mention that I was thinking about is when you talk about the sticky stuff check, you got a no-hitter going through 6. And you don't want to talk to the pitcher about it as a teammate because, hey, whatever's working's working. I don't want you thinking about it. The umpire comes up to you and says, hey, we're checking you. Well, why? Oh, shoot, I have no hitter. Now the pitcher's aware. Now the pitcher might be overthinking it. There's a lot of stuff that might be going on there. And I don't, as a pitcher, I don't like that because now you're kind of messing with the groove and honestly the superstition of not talking about a no-hitter.
Well, sure, every manager is going to do that.
Sure.
Like if a pitcher's in his groove, he's just going to say checking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and there's got to be a penalty for that if they don't uncover anything.
It's like a challenge, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if there is rules behind that or what the regulation is there. But they need to sort it out, and it's not sorted out.
Right. It's an overcorrection.
And they got to sort it out at least going into postseason baseball, or else it's going to be not great, right? Because what if our boy Jon Lester is going into the Cardinals wild card game and he's shoving in 6 innings, right? And all of a sudden he's got to get checked for sticky stuff, and now the next inning he gives up 3 runs because he's got to have his mojo. Whatever. And then, but maybe he doesn't have any sticky stuff. He just got out of his groove, and then that coach doesn't get penalized for that, and it's like a whole thing, right? And so it just needs to be workshopped a little bit better with a little bit more thought.
Agreed.
From an outsider's view, I don't know what they're talking about on the commissioner's board or what people who run baseball. Maybe they put years of thought into this, and maybe I'm just wrong.
Sure.
But from someone who cares about baseball looking in, that's what I think. So that's my perspective on that. So cool. Everyone good on that subject?
Good.
Okay, we're going to move to our final topic of the night for the next 10 minutes.
Thoughts of.
We are going to talk about MLB trade deadline. One of the most exciting, in my opinion, trade deadlines I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
I was refreshing that page.
Mental warfare going on.
Twitter was just blowing up. Jeff Passan was just all in it, right? That guy's a legend.
Yeah, he is.
Saw somebody was like, everybody, Joey Gallo might be going to the Yankees and Aaron Judge just unfollowed the Yankees. What is happening?
There's so many fake Jeff Passons on Twitter.
Oh, I know.
Is
just
there?
like Mark was,
That's awesome.
Wachowski and.
Okay, from what you guys know about the trades, from what you just know off the top of your head, who's the most improved team?
Oh, that's easy to me. I mean, you take the Dodgers went from the leading contender of the World Series champions and became the leading contender of the World Series champions.
So you say Dodgers are
They got
most
significantly better, and they were already the best team in baseball.
So because they got Scherzer and Trey Turner, you
Yes.
think they're a better team?
Yes,
Cool.
they are.
What do you think, Sander? You think they're the best?
Yeah, I think Dodgers probably, but also the A's made some moves, which they're kind of like a dark horse.
They are.
The A's made some moves. Dodgers, Yankees.
Yankees got
obvious
really
Texas
good.
Folks. They're just stacked with Rizzo.
I watched
Gallo.
their game yesterday, and Rizzo tied it up or took the lead.
By the way, did I not say Rizzo would be a Yankee by next year?
You certainly did.
I didn't see it happening at the deadline, but
Boom. Look at you. The Yankees are a lot of fun. They're hard to root against for me right now. They're so much fun to watch. Like watching
So much
Sanchez
fun.
throw down to Rizzo for a back pick is just like something. It's just beautiful baseball to watch.
the Braves actually made some pretty good moves.
They did.
I don't necessarily love our chances in
The National League is just.
I mean,
tough.
according to this website, they say the Dodgers, the Braves, and the Blue Jays made the best, most improved teams.
Blue
at
Jays
trade
gave up a
lines.
lot for Barrios, but they got better.
Obviously, the Yankees too. They got two massive left-handed hitters. But I like the Nelson Cruz to the Rays, man. I think that's huge for them.
I like the move that I like Kimbrel going to the White Sox. I think that you're at a position where if you're in the NL East or the AL Central, you might as well.
kind of up for grabs.
NL East and AL Central, yeah, it's up for grabs. So why not boost now? Do I understand why the Cardinals at a 500 in 11 games back behind the Brewers are making moves? Not necessarily, because no team that doesn't win their division in the National League is going to make the playoffs because three teams from the National League West are making playoffs.
Right.
But in the American League, you have the A's, you have the Red Sox, you have the Blue Jays, you have the White Sox, all vying for either their division or the Red Sox, all vying for either division or a wild card spot. And once you're in the tournament, it's just who knows. I think the Astros are arguably the best team
In the
American League. I think that they bolstered their bullpen. They needed to do exactly what they needed to do, and they got some pretty decent bullpen arms. But also, you got Chris Bryant going to San Francisco. You got Kyle Schwarber going to Boston. I think Schwarber to Boston was a great move.
I mean, the San Francisco Giants are playing
with house money.
They're playing out of their. They're playing out of their culo right now
because they should not be in the position they're in.
They added an all-star.
Yes.
So
who can just hit bombs into the ocean, which is into the bay, which is just fantastic.
He's not left-handed. He will not be hitting any into the bay.
That's right. You're right.
Unless he just goes off a taco.
He's also really versatile. Plays a couple different positions.
Yeah. He's a great athlete.
I mean, I love the Giants.
Yes, I do.
But
Baez to the Mets is just fun to me. Did you see the play he made yesterday?
I did not.
What's the deal though? Is he gonna play second if or when Lindor comes back?
I assume.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Mets mostly because of Marcus Stroman. He's my favorite.
Yes, you recently turned him on to me.
He's amazing.
Or me on to him rather.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're looking at the playoff picture, we're looking at everyone who got traded. We're looking at
the Mets.
You don't like the Mets?
I hate the Mets.
Because
I couldn't buy my
how
team.
about Kumar? How about Kumar not getting signed?
Because they're in the East, man.
That's
we
fair.
don't have to talk about it, but you can't just be, loving the Mets over here.
You just dislike them, right? You don't hate them.
Yeah, I dislike them strongly.
Okay.
I always have.
Write this down for the.
Your favorite team, I get it.
Write this down for a segment in the future.
You like Peter Alonso, though.
I don't.
You love Pete Alonso. Yeah, that's right. You were texting us during the home run derby about how much you loved him.
All right, next topic.
No, but back to my question. Everyone got traded. All these teams that got improved. Playoff race is happening, right? We're pushing it. We're going into, we're in August, so it's like the last 2 months of the season. Which guy that got traded has the most impact on their team right now for the next 2 months going into the postseason?
Of course, all the guys that were traded.
Everyone. Pitcher, bullpen, outfielders, infielders, one guy.
Scherzer. I think Scherzer. Because
Scherzer?
he basically replaces Trevor Bauer, who we're not going to see for the rest of the year.
Can we do a retraction of what we said earlier this season, by the way?
We will at the end of the episode.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because somebody called me out on that recently.
Well, we talked about it on our last episode.
That's right, yeah.
But we can touch on that in a second. But let's focus on.
I'm going to go with, honestly, I love that Kimbrel trade. I love them getting an extra arm in that bullpen. They have two closers now. They have two closers, their setup guy and their closer. They have a really strong offensive team. They have pretty decent starters, and I think they can make a run because now they have a lead in the 7th, and it's really hard to beat them. And I think that I think the obvious answer is going to be Scherzer. I think another obvious answer could be Rizzo to the Yankees. It was a great move. But I think that a very overlooked one, which they overpaid for, by the way, because I'm a big fan of Nick Madrigal too. He's a really solid infielder. But they're going for it, and they're going for the Central, and they're going for a potential AL pennant with a really strong bullpen. And I like that move a lot for them. I honestly expected the Astros to overpay for him because they really needed an extra bullpen piece. Him going to the White Sox fired me up.
Yeah. I think Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant. Biggest impact on his team.
Sure. How about Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez all homering in their first game with their new teams?
Pretty sweet.
Sorry, Cubs fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
We talked about my buddy Alex Robbins
on
our episode, the one who came up with the name Champions Adjust. Because we've been saying it since like our junior year of college, and he was like, "Why don't you just use that?" And I'm like, "That's an amazing name. Thank you so much, Champions Adjust for life."
How many times have we used that during my bachelor party?
So many times. I use that all the time now. People really like it because it makes so much sense. Like champions do adjust. They adjust everything, through failures, setbacks, all these things. They just keep adjusting. That's why they're champions.
Sure.
That's why everyone can be a champion. Yep. But anyways, my boy Alex Robbins, who we just went to the game in Chicago, where I saw Ted Lasso throw out the first pitch, we were talking about this because he knew this was coming. So he's a bit sad right now.
Yeah.
But he's also very happy that he got to see that World Series win finally in his lifetime, and now they have a chance to rebuild.
Some good pieces. They got some really good pieces, and good for you, Alex, and all the other Cubs fans. I have a friend of mine who went to the second to last game before all this happened. 2 days before everybody got benched because the end was coming, and everybody knew it. Baez knew it when he walked off on that. On that walk-off out to right field. Good for the Cubs fans for the opportunity to see such a great team, and especially the Cubs fans who got to see their team play this year because that's the end of an era, and it's an era you'll remember for the rest of your life, and you got to see kind of the tail end of it, which is awesome.
They'll be back. They'll be back. Real.
They have good management.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the trade deadline going into August, September? We'll come back for some postseason talk. But any other thoughts, predictions, comments?
I think that if we're going predictions, I'm going to go Braves out of the NL East. I'm going to go Brewers or Cardinals NL Central. I'm going to go Dodgers NL West with the Giants and the Padres in the wild card. Other side of it, I got the Astros winning the division with the A's in a wild card spot. I got the White Sox winning the division. I got the Yankees winning the division with, I'm going to go for it, the Blue Jays getting the other wild card spot, and Boston.
No Rays.
No Rays, no Red Sox.
No Rays, no Red Sox.
Unpopular opinion because the Red Sox are currently leading, but there's also 2 months of baseball left.
Let's see. I'm going to see if check some MLB standings.
How about you, Sander? What do you thought? What you got?
I can't go through my whole prediction set here. I'd love to see the Braves make a run at it, obviously.
And you got Eddie Rosario, man. They're not going to win.
Yeah. I think the
that's a great move.
The NL West would be the most exciting down the line. I see Tatis might be out for the year, which sucks. But
he rebounded really quickly from that shoulder earlier this season. Missed 2 games. He's on a 10-day, but that would be a huge blow to the. The Rays are actually up right now.
I mean,
my bad.
I'm going to the Dodgers-Padres game in LA on September 11th, so I'm going to do a live episode.
First practice, man.
Yeah, I already told you.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I mean, September 11th is in my.
I'll be watching. And
I'll be sending you pictures from our first practice. I'm excited for it.
Great. Very excited. But I'll go White Sox. Not going with the Yankees. I don't think they're going to come back. I'm going to go Rays. I'm going to go A's because I don't like the Astros.
Who does?
And then I'll take the Astros and the Red Sox for my wild card spots.
Okay.
But I really like the Mariners though too.
Mariners are fun.
And I would just really want to see the Angels in postseason.
The Mariners gave up Graveman for nothing, and they've been losing since.
Really?
Yeah. They lost 2 to the Rangers, who have 34 wins.
And then National League, Not the Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't going to win. It'll go Brewers. Big time Mets because I'm going to see Marcus Stroman throw in the postseason. It's going to be awesome.
Well, they have no DeGrom right now, too.
The Giants are going to win because they're the best postseason team. And then Dodgers and Padres will fight it out in the wild card.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Senator, you got anything?
Yeah, I'll meet you guys somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Deal.
We'll come back when postseason's finalized, and we'll do a few episodes for the postseason, like I said. But we want to kind of.
It's been a pleasure.
Retract our words about Trevor Bauer.
I think the exact words were, "How can you not like Trevor Bauer?" I think it's around what we said.
Well, when we were speaking about him,
Yeah.
he was doing a lot of really, really good things for the game of baseball.
Yes.
And then some things got revealed about him that are not
Unbecoming.
good. They're not appropriate. They shouldn't be tolerated. And he's facing the repercussions for his actions. I don't know any more about the story or the information than anyone else. But as the information stands today, I don't stand for any type of behavior like that. Sexual misconduct, sexual assault, whatever happened, I don't care. The intricacies I don't know about, but I stand with people that get abused and assaulted, and I believe them and I believe their stories. And so we, as a group of people and as a podcast, retract our words for Trevor Bauer, and we hope the situation gets resolved and the victims can rest and recover and live still a happy, healthy, fruitful, fulfilled life, which whatever they choose to do.
Yeah.
And Trevor Bauer goes about the steps to overcome and grow that and be better because of it. And who knows if we'll see him back in baseball or not. That's really not important. That's the least important thing. But what's important is that healing process for both people. So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts. Anyone else want to add to that?
No, well said.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. And that is not how we're going to end
No.
Season 1, Episode 10 of Champions Adjust. We'll end by saying thank you guys for...
Thank you.
First, thank you, Sandra Bryan, for deciding that we should do a podcast.
Yes, great idea.
And telling me that we should do it, and then I just ran with it immediately. Thank you to Alex Robbins for the name of the pod. He's going to be an angel investor in the Champions Adjust brand.
Hey.
And thank you, David Bodson, for sharing your insight on us on baseball throughout Season 1. I had a pleasure doing this with you guys, and I can't wait to do 1 million more episodes.
Significant and special shout out to all of our listeners. I know not everybody listens to every episode, but as somebody who never thought and still doesn't think I can make like this is fun to do, right? And that anybody would take time out of their day to listen to our thoughts on this beautiful game of baseball is humbling at the very least.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, everybody, for listening to us this season.
Special shout out to my guys. I don't think I ever really named any of y'all by name, but shout out to the Dallas Tigers Brian 13U squad. It was a fun season. Miss you guys. I'll miss those of you that I won't have the pleasure of coaching anymore, but it's been fun.
And stay loving the game of baseball. It can be hard, but keep at it. Keep going.
Yep.
It's a beautiful game.
Keep playing.
Keep
Have
playing.
fun.
It'll
Play
teach you
as
so
long as you
much.
can.
And
Have
then
fun.
when you're done playing, you can sit around with your friends and talk a game, watch the game, enjoy it. And so thank you for listening. Be on the lookout for merch and for Season 2. So much love. Champions Adjust for life. Share this with a friend.